Next thing I'm going to be doing is I've decided not to address these mends at this time. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to be doing a surface clean, and I'm going to be doing it, it's called with dry methods. And the material that I use is a powder that I have especially blended. And especially blended, it has no pumice in it. It's very, very soft. And it has no plasticizers in it that you would find in a normal eraser, like a gum eraser. If you can see, it's got a lot of pink in it, and that's because of the different rubbers that are used in it. So we don't have to be afraid of any staining. And I use my bare hands instead of using a gloves because first of all, your hands are rolling on top of the powder, so they're not really touching the artwork. And secondly, I can feel with my fingers in case there's something rough underneath the surface that might pop through the paper, or I can tell if I'm pushing too hard. And you'll start seeing how this is going to start getting darker. And first I'm rubbing it over the areas that we're afraid might be weak because of the water stain, which is this red. And as you can see, the red is not being pushed at all by this beautiful, beautiful grinding of eraser material. And then you can see it's already looking cleaner. So I'm just going to continue to the entire piece. And I'm not really worried about any other contaminants from my hands, but as you can see, I'm starting to pick up more dirt. You can see the colors are starting to change. And now that I come back here on the white, you can start seeing the dirt that's coming off the surface. You have to be kind of careful because you don't know right now how fragile these inks are. Since I've just started working on the piece, I'm starting to understand the materials, and I have to be sure that when I'm dry cleaning it that I'm not pulling any colors off it, that the surface is strong enough to take care of this. Now, in other adjustments for the cleaning of this, one of the things that we discussed was actually to remove these water stains, the piece would have to be totally submerged. And I do a lot of total submersions just in water. No bleaches are ever used, no toxins are ever used. But that was one of the options that was put forth for the administration of this collection. And they, and rightly so, and I agree with them, that this stain really wasn't that offensive, and that since we want the piece to look old anyway, it doesn't need to be addressed as long as it's not causing any damage to the paper itself. And it's not. It's pretty stable, which is nice because I never over-conserve any of my pieces. So that just means that this piece will not be totally submerged. It's going to be dry cleaned, and then if there's any outstanding stains anywhere, they will be addressed locally. And that might be just addressed locally. And as you can see, you just use the palm of your hand. You start seeing that the pink clays are starting to get a little bit dirtier, a little bit darker. And believe it or not, it will make a huge difference after this is cleaned off. You'll see a big change. What I'm actually doing is when you take off a lot of grime, it's kind of an oily grime from just environmental dirt. And since these are nice clay papers, once you remove that film, it's like a grimy film, the paper is going to start to have a nice shiny, healthy surface again. It'll have a nice shine to it. And the artist that executed this work actually they're essential in actually doing their materials as well. So the whole idea of a nice shiny paper to show off all these beautiful inks was very, very important to them. So you always go back to the artist's intent, and the artist's intent in this case was not a matte surface. It was a nice, you know, really healthy, shiny surface where the inks could pop. Because the whole idea, of course, is to attract a lot of attention. That's all you do. Something like that, and then it's a little baby brush. Really soft brush. And you're going to start